Well, hey guys, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. I've got a new battery to review here. This battery is made by LITHOVA. That's LITHOVA, available on Amazon. And this is a 300 amp hour, 3840 watt hour LifePo4 battery. LifePo4 battery stands for lithium iron phosphate battery. Now these are the types of batteries that we commonly use for off-grid situations, also used commonly for RVs and campers. Lithium iron has pretty much taken over the market now for most of those uses because they have a much more storage capacity than an AGM or any of the flooded cell batteries. I used to use AGM and flooded cell batteries. I still have some AGM batteries, but I have switched now for my off-grid system to the LifePo4 batteries for several reasons. One is the storage capacity on a LifePo4 is double what you would get from an AGM battery. They also have a life cycle of about twice what you would get from an AGM battery. Okay? They also, because they're a sealed battery, they have no maintenance whatsoever on them, okay? So a lot of off-gridders, a lot of RVers, we're all switching to LifePo4 batteries in a lot of cases. But in general, a LifePo4 battery just has a lot to offer for people that need a regular power supply, whether you're living off-grid or you're using it for camping, or maybe you're using it as an emergency power backup system for your house. A LifePo4 is a great battery and something you should probably look into. Now, just so you know, this is a big, heavy battery. This is 300 amp hours. It does come with these handles on the side. It's got the positive connection and negative connection up on top up here, just like a regular battery. But other than that, it is completely sealed. There's no maintenance to do on a battery like this. Now, this is a 300 amp hour battery. I have reviewed 100 amp hour batteries, 200 amp hour batteries, and a 400 amp hour battery, but this is the first 300 amp hour battery that I'm reviewing. Now, why I chose to review this one is because I think this is a size battery that a lot of people that are using them for small off-grid systems, RVs and campers, this is a size that I would probably consider getting for one of those situations, because this has 3,840 watt hours. Now, to break that down for you, that means if you was to run a load, which is an AC load of 100 watts, you could run that for 38 hours straight off of this battery with nothing else. With no charging source or anything else. You could run a 100 watt load just off of this battery for 38 hours, okay? That is a lot of capacity. Now, the great thing about LifePo4 batteries is they can also be drained completely empty and recharged completely full without doing any damage to the battery. And what is great is the cycles on these are anywhere from 3,000 to 15,000 cycles, depending on how much you drain it down. Most people are not going to drain this down empty and recharge it every day, okay? So it would last 3,000 cycles, or about 10 years, if you drained it all the way down and refilled it every day. Very rarely ever drain my LifePo4 batteries down, so cycles can last much, much longer than that. A battery like this should last you a good 10 years of use under average conditions, and you're going to get double the capacity that you're going to get from an AGM or other type of batteries. Now, like I said, this is about 72 pounds. As you can see it from the side there. It is a pretty hefty sized battery, but it is still compact and small enough that you could put this in the space where you would store a couple of AGM batteries. And this is actually going to weigh less than an AGM or a flooded cell battery because it doesn't have lead plates in it that add to the weight. These are actually lighter. One person can actually lift this up. I lift this up off the floor and put it up here. So that one person can lift this battery, okay? Where if you tried to lift an AGM 100 amp hour battery, you'd have to do them one at a time because those suckers are really heavy. This also has a lot of protections. It has an overvolt protection. It has a high temperature sensor protection, and it has overcharging and over discharging protection. So it comes with a lot of features, and it has what they call a BMS, which is a battery management system built into this. so that it charges it up safely, and the risks for using a LifePo4 go way down with using a battery like this. There's very little chance that you're ever going to have a runaway lithium fire like you can have with lithium ion batteries, okay? Also, I would like to point out that these make great off-grid emergency backup systems, which I'll show you what I'm using right here. This up here is my Solex power station. I love this thing. It is a great unit, and I have reviewed it before. I use this primarily for running all of my kitchen gadgets and appliances like my microwave. But this only has a 100 amp hour battery in it, okay? It is a LifePo4 battery, but it is a 100 amp hour LifePo4 battery. And generally, I need to recharge it from about 50% back up to full every day with solar power so that I have enough power to run my kitchen gadget, microwave, and something like that. Now, this is a 300 amp hour LifePo4 battery. It has 3 times as much capacity as this Solex, okay? So a battery like this, if you connect it with an inverter, which I'll show you here in a minute, will run all of these appliances and run them for 3 times longer than a power station. Now, if you compare the prices, it is a lot less expensive to get a battery like this and an inverter and use that as a power station than it is to buy a power station. Now, that's nothing against power stations. Power stations have a lot of other features, a built-in inverter, built-in MPPT controller, very easy and handy. You can carry them around with you wherever you want to go. They're great systems. But for the price, it is less expensive to buy a battery like this and put your own inverter with it and use solar panels with your own MPPT controller if you need a system that has more capacity. Now, where this would also be great is if you have a workshop or a garage where you may need to run tools or things like that, just occasionally. You're not using them all day long, but you need enough capacity and you need enough volts that it can handle larger loads. This has a 150 amp output. Now, what that means is it can run a much larger inverter, up to 3,000 to 5,000 watt inverter can be run off of this for running larger tools like table saws and things like that, welders and other tools that you may have in your shop that you need to run occasionally. This has a 150 amp hour output, so you can run larger loads, run a larger inverter. This would also be a good system if you want to run something like an emergency power system for a window air conditioner unit. Window air conditioner units generally use about 500 watts. You could run a 500 watt air conditioner off of this battery for about 8 hours straight, okay? So in an emergency situation, if you don't have any electricity in your house, but you have an inverter, you could run your window AC that uses 500 watts for about 8 hours off of just this battery. So again, a lot of people are using this size battery, a 300 amp hour battery. Now, LITHOVA also does carry 100 amp hour batteries, 200 amp hour batteries. They even carry 48 volt batteries if you want to get into that. And this battery here can be put in series or parallel up to 4. So you could have 4 in parallel and 4 in series, which means you can increase the capacity. If you're using this for an off-grid system, you could put 4 of these in parallel and 4 of these in series to have a whole lot of storage capacity for your off-grid system. Okay, again, this battery is made by LITHOVA. I will show you here. I will hook it up to my inverter to show you how it runs a microwave. The only way to tell if a battery is really good as it is to put it through the test and then see how long it lasts. But my general opinion is that LifePo4 batteries are excellent batteries for off-gridders, campers, and RVers, and LITHOVA has them at a very reasonable price on Amazon. So let me show you this hooked up to an inverter and show it running my microwave just so you know how they work. Okay, so here I'm going to demonstrate how easy it is to use one of these batteries, these LifePo4 batteries, to set up your own power station. Now, like I said, this is a 300 amp hour battery. I'm using an inverter. This is a 1,000 watt power drive inverter. I'm not trying to sell you on any specific type of inverter. This has been a good inverter, and you want to get an inverter that will handle whatever load that you're going to be running. Now, I've got this plugged into my microwave. My microwave uses about 700 to 1,000 watts, depending on the settings. So I've got it plugged into my inverter. My inverter is connected with my battery cables to the battery, and we'll just go ahead and turn this on for 1 minute just to show you how this works. Okay, my inverter is now taking the charge from the battery, converting it to AC because my microwave only runs on AC. This is a pure sine wave inverter, which is what you want to use for anything like a microwave or anything like that, or any sensitive equipment, and is converting that to AC and running my microwave. And you can hear and see the microwave is running. And it would run this microwave at 700 watts, would run it for about 6 hours straight, but nobody's going to run a microwave for 6 hours straight, okay? So that's what you need, is an inverter and a battery. Now you also need some way to charge up your battery, and what I recommend you get is something like this. This is a AC to DC power charger designed specifically for LIFEPO4 batteries. This one is made by EnjoyBot. You can get these, and this is a 20 amp hour charger, and it has an AC cord. It has an AC cord, so you just plug it into your wall, and then you connect the DC clamps, which it comes with these alligator clamps, a red clamp and a black clamp. You connect those to the red connection and the black connection on your battery, plug it into your wall, and you can recharge this back up. Now, you can also recharge these from solar. I do have 2 brand new 100-watt solar panels that I'm going to be installing on my porch, and I will show you how I connect this battery to my solar, and you can also charge these directly from solar using a controller. So we will get to that in another video. But you can get one of these and just plug it into your wall and recharge the battery. Then if the power ever goes out at your house, you've got a 300 amp hour battery that will run everything from your microwaves, your window air conditioners, your refrigerators, all that to get you through a couple of days of a blackout. All right, so that's one of the uses of this. They're also used by a lot of off-gridders, RVers, and campers. All right, again, this battery is made by LITHOVA. This is the 300 amp hour. They also carry 100 amp hour, 200 amp hour, and some 48 volt LIFEPO4 batteries. I'd go check them out because they seem to be at a very reasonable price and seem to be well made. Again, on Amazon, and I'll put the links down there. Thank you, folks, and have a great day.